right, I'm back with another amazing tutorial for you. And this one is also related to client onboarding, right? That's the area where I see the most opportunity for automation. And one of the most common workflows that I notice among coaches is that when, we sign a client, one of the next steps we do is that we're creating some kind of folder for them, maybe in Google Drive or Dropbox with some documents, maybe to take notes and things like this. And this is something that I have repeatedly see others do manually, and it is the perfect use case for automation. So let's dive in, and I'm going to show you how easy something like this is to set up, and you'll never have to do these kinds of admin tasks again. All right, so let's dive in. Okay, so here's a database that I have worked on in another tutorial with some other automations, right? So I have my clients here, I have some payments coming in, and I have my sessions, right? This is what I talked about in the session tracking video. But for this, one of the things that I want to do is, let's see, I want to make sure that when people are my clients, that I'm creating a folder for them and that I can actually access that folder here. And so one of the things I'm going to do, I'm going to create a new column, and I'm just going to call it a Google Drive URL. And what will go into that field is a URL. And then I will do a client, let's do client folder button. And Airtable has a button field, which makes things really nice. And it will say, okay, what is the action here? I want to open up a URL. What URL do I want to open? Well, I want to open my Google Drive URL. And we'll also call this, we'll label the button client folder. And it's nice because you can choose how you want this to appear. I love purple, so let's use that. So create field, and you'll see that these are grayed out right now. And that's because there's no URL here. So if I were to type in just google.com, you can see that this button now becomes active. And when I click on that, it would open google.com. But we don't want that. We want it to open the client folder. And so we have to make sure that it gets there. And so one of the ways to do this is to first create a form or some kind of way that a client is going to be starting with you. So usually they're filling out a form, they're making a payment. You can do things like this and fill out where you have them fill out their information. Maybe you add some details for a contract, collect their signature, have them purchase a coaching package, have them schedule their first session, and then end the form flow there. But for this, we're just going to keep things really simple. Okay, we don't need the coaching package, and we don't need the first session. We're just going to pretend, right, that we have them in. I just don't want to test and have to pay $1,500 to test. So we're going to leave this here, and I'm just going to also, remove the signature and some of the stuff, right? We're just going to keep the form really basic, but I wanted to start to have you see all of the capability that you can add when using fill out forms. So let's publish this form. And this is called onboarding and payment. We can rename our form up there if we need to. But now I'm going to create a Zap. Okay. And we need to define what is the trigger of our Zap, right? The event that starts this automated flow. And so that would be this form being filled out. So if I go find fill out forms, I can select that here. And I want to trigger on every time a new submission comes through. I've already connected my account. And let's see what form it's going to be. It's like it's thinking onboarding and payment. There we go. And let's see if I test the trigger. I'm not sure if I've tested this one before, so I might have to test again, which is totally normal when you're building an automation in Zapier, right? Because it gave me some example stuff in here. So let me just fill this out really quick. So if I preview this form, I'll just put my name in, and I will put my email address in. Actually, let me look at my database and see how I need to format this. Email address, first name. Okay, I'll just do first name for now. Submit. And so once I put that form through, I can go back to Zapier and I can say, please find new records. And so it's going to think and look. And then here's submission B. Okay, submission B still says example. Interesting. Let's try again. I would wonder why that's happening. Typically, it finds my information. Let's exit. And why don't we try that again? This is the thing with tech and automation. Not everything goes as expected the first time around. So I'm just going to refresh the page entirely here, give myself a fresh start. Okay. These are all examples. Not quite sure why it's doing that. Well, like I said, this typically works and it should work when we're live, but we're just going to use a sample record for now. And the next thing that we want to do is we want to actually create this Google Drive folder. So we'll go into Google Drive, and my action is to create a folder. And we'll just do it in my account here. Oh, let me reconnect it. Very simple to reconnect things. Just sign in, allow. Okay, there we go. And we will continue. And then it says my drive, which is just my Google Drive. That's just your one thing. And then what I've done ahead of time is I have created a folder called clients. Now this is important, right? You're going to have this folder ahead of time. And in this client folder, you're going to need to set up the sharing settings. And you're going to want to make it with anyone with a link. Now, this could pose some risks. Typically, people won't be able to find the link of your Google folder, right? This is not like something that's indexed by Google and people are going to find it. But theoretically, it is possible for somebody somewhere to hack a link and put it together when you have anyone with a link. But if you're going to use Google Drive, this is a trade-off that you're going to have to consider because there is no way to set up individual sharing preferences through Zapier in an automated way. Now, if you wanted to, you could use Dropbox instead. So Dropbox does allow you to create a shared link to the individual client's folder and be able to share that with the client. Google Drive does not. So if you do it this way with Google Drive, it's possible, but you will have to sign on for that risk, okay? So the parent folder that I'm going to choose is clients, and let me just make sure that I saved this. Okay, good, it's shared. And let's see, the folder name, let's just say I want to name it after my client. So I can do client : space, and this would typically say my client name. And so I can continue and I can test. And it's thinking, and basically what it's doing right now is actually creating a folder for me. And so if I go back here into clients and I refresh the page, there we go. There's my client, my example client. And there I am inside of the folder. Okay. So if I'm back at Zapier, maybe I also have some kind of document I want to put in that folder for the client as well. Maybe I have some worksheets, things like that. So I can add a Google Docs step here, and I can do a couple of things, okay? I can, let's see, create a document from template. So if you have a template that you've created in Google Docs already with some placeholders, we can, kind of fill them in with Zapier. Another thing I can do is create a document from text. So let me just do that just for example's sake. And I can say weekly client meeting notes. And I can say, this is where we'll take notes for our sessions together. And then where it says folder, right now it says root, but basically I want it to go into this folder. But the problem, if I just select it like that, is that every time this runs, it's going to put it in that one client's folder. So that's not what I want. So what I actually need to do, and you'll notice this says static right here, okay? I need to change this to custom. And when I do that, it allows me to look at the folder that I just created and actually select that here in a dynamic kind of way. And so I just need to choose the ID. So this will always put this document in the folder I just created, okay? So we'll continue, we'll test the step, It's thinking, it's creating. Okay, it says it was successful. And so what I can do is go back to the clients, go into this answer, and here's my weekly client meeting notes with what I typed in the automation. Okay, so the last step is that we have to get this back to Airtable now. And so what I can do is add this step, and I want to go to Airtable. And if you have already had this flow and had these clients in here, they probably already exist inside of your Airtable. And so what I want to do is I want to be able to find and then create that record. So I can do a find record, and we will choose the client database 123. Table is contacts. I want to be able to search by the email address. And then the value I want to search by is what was given to me in this submission, right? So example at site.com. So let me just make sure a test contact exists. Example at site.com. Okay. So we want to find this person. Okay. And my automation already ran to tell me this person has no more sessions. That's awesome. So if I go back to here, search for exact match. Okay. Basically, it's going to try to find example at site.com in Airtable. And I need that because I have to find it to be able to then update it. So it did find me. And so I'll add a step now. And I will, again, choose Airtable. And then I will go ahead and update the record and continue. Choose my base. I want the contacts table. Now, the record that I want to update is the one that I just found. Okay, so we have to do this dynamically. So I'll do custom find record ID. Okay. And then what I want to do is I want to put the Google Drive URL in there. And so this is where I've created the folder. And so I need to find the link to this folder. Let's see. Link, I think it's alternate link. I know that's not super clear, but I believe that's what Google Drive uses. That's all I need to do here. I'll click continue. I'll test the step. And then it says it sent it to Airtable. So I'll go here. I'll look over. It says Drive. It says client folder. So I can even hide this. And now if I click on this client folder, it will go ahead and open up that client's exact folder for you. So that's how simple it is. It's just a couple of steps in your Zap. So what we're doing is a new client is filling out a form because they're presumably onboarding with you. We're automatically creating the folder. We're automatically creating the document and putting it in the folder. We're finding the client, and then we're adding the Google Drive link right to that client's record. All right. Well, I hope this was useful. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments or come join my Facebook group, Automation Mastery for Life Coaches. The link is also in the description. I run free weekly calls. I hope to see you there, and I'm so happy to help you automate everything you can in your coaching business. All right, until next time, take care.